Hi, my name is Sean, and I'll be teaching the English and Engineering class for the Smart English program at Sukmyung Women's University. I'm a professor at Sukmyung Women's University, teaching mainly the required English elective courses for freshman students. And normally, I teach the ETE track, or the English for Technology and Engineering. So while you're doing this class, a lot of the content that we'll be going through in our 10 days together will have some similarities to that particular course at Sukmyung, and will hopefully help to give you a good idea of what's expected in that course. Now, for our course, the 10 days that we have together, you're going to be learning and practicing your English speaking skills with a focus for engineering. And during that time, we're going to learn to use communication skills for informal discussions, so casual discussions related to engineering and technology style topics. We'll also be looking at some specific skills focused on presentations, so ways to make sure that your language is clear and focused when you're presenting engineering and other technical language. We'll also be looking at procedures and processes related to engineering and technology, how to explain those accurately and with enough detail that someone will fully understand what you're trying to talk about. We'll also be looking at reasons and solutions for different types of engineering problems. So trying to find creative ways and using critical thinking to collaborate with other students in the class to try and find solutions to these problems. We'll also, hopefully, by doing all of this, develop and increase our confidence in just communicating in these scientific-based fields. Now, during our 10 days together, we'll be covering a lot of different topics. And you can see on the screen our schedule for those 10 days. On our first day, we'll be starting with just some basic introductions to become comfortable with each other. And then we'll look at engineering in general, the different fields and areas of study within that. Then on our second day, we'll be focusing mainly on design and the design process and how people in the technology and engineering field go about creating, designing, building the things that we use in our everyday life. On our third day, we'll then look at the materials that they use when they're creating these devices, structures, and why they choose certain materials over others. So we'll be spending some time talking about the different properties of materials and how they can be manipulated through different manufacturing processes. On the fourth day, we're going to be looking at structures and the stresses that are on them that engineers have to consider when they're designing them. And to do that, we're going to look specifically at bridges, since Seoul does have a lot of bridges across the Han and lots of different structures in those bridges. On the fifth day, we're going to be looking at machines, both simple and complex, and how they're a part of our everyday life. Then we're going to be looking at going green on the sixth day with some renewable energy. So we'll be discussing things like solar energy, wind turbines, and just different ways to have less of an impact on our environment. On the seventh day, we'll be looking at the rise of the machines. We'll be looking at machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data, and the Internet of Things, and how all of these things work together in our modern day lives. Then, on the 8th day, we'll be looking at engineering us. So genetic engineering, how we can manipulate DNA of different things for our own purposes. Then day 9, we'll be looking at biometrics and buildings. So how we can combine ourselves with technology to make a better world. And then finally, on our last day, we're going to be doing just a poster project where we're going to choose one of these different themes, and each group will create their own poster project to show what they've learned about that specific topic during our 10 days together. Now, our daily schedule is broken into 3 blocks. Block 1 is always an intro to the theme of the day, and we'll usually have just a nice short warm-up discussion or a couple of discussions just to get you comfortable with and discussing the theme. Then we'll take a short break, we'll come back, and we'll have another 50-minute block where we will expand on the theme through working on a task with a group. So you'll be working with 3 to 4 other students in a group, trying to complete a task based on the theme. And then after that, we'll come back, we'll take a 10-minute break, and we'll have our 3rd block. In our 3rd block, we'll either be reporting on the task that you completed in block 2 and have a short little wrap-up discussion, or we'll focus on a specific language skill. So this is our presentation element, and then incorporate that into our report on the task. And just for an example of how a typical day might go, we'll look at day 2, our design day. So in our design day, in the first 50-minute block, we would start learning about the design processes and the different stages that occur in that process. And then we might discuss how it's used and try an example of how it can even be used in our daily lives. Then we'll take a 10-minute break. We'll come back. We'll do block 2, where you'll have your task. And for this, first we'll model it with an example of a device or technology and look how it was developed using the design process. Then you'll go into groups and you'll be given a design task where you'll use some creative thinking and some critical thinking skills to come up with a design for a certain situation. So again, just a little problem solution with some creativity and critical thinking. Then we'll have a 10-minute break. When we come back, we'll have our final block where you would have the opportunity to present your solution to the problem, your design, to the class and just explain it in detail, which then might finish with a final discussion about the pros and cons of the different designs, or we may even decide to do a Q&A session where members from other groups can ask questions and you can have time to respond. So that's an example of an average day of our 10. And that's our general outline for the course. So it's 10 days long. It's a lot of things to talk about and discuss that hopefully you find really interesting. And whether you have an engineering or sciences background, or that's what you want to study at university, or if it's just something you're personally interested in. We'll make sure that in class, everyone has the opportunity to understand all the different things that we're talking about and share their ideas and practice the language and just get to know a little bit more about these different topics. So I hope to see you in the class, and until then, goodbye.
Hello, my name is Sophie and I will be teaching the Business English course for the SMART program. This is just a short video to explain a little about the course and why you may be interested in taking it. So just 1 second while I share my information with you. Okay, so SMART English for Business and Management. Why should you take this course, or why might you be interested to take this course? Well, first of all, if you have any interest or curiosity about business English, then of course this will be helpful. This does not mean you want to be a business English major, but simply you have an interest in business English, using English within a business context. In addition, of course, as with all the SMART English programs, this will help prepare you to take an ACE English course. And for graduation, you must take an ACE course. So one of those is an ACE Business English course, and it can help you prepare by maybe learning a little bit of vocabulary or getting an idea for that type of course before you take it. But for any of the ACE courses, this will be helpful to get used to the structure of ACE courses. And then in addition, within this program, there will be a lot of discussion time with your classmates. And again, the ACE courses are speaking focused. So this will be a more relaxed, friendly environment. You know, there's no formal assessment, there's no exams. So hopefully you can become comfortable practicing, discussing with other students about topics, and also a little information about presentations, which are part of the ACE program, and actually giving a very small presentation at the end of the SMART English program. Again, this is not an exam, it is just a practice presentation. So these are perhaps some reasons why this could be a helpful course for you. Interest in business and a practice before you enter the ACE program. Okay, then specifically about this business English course. So there is no textbook. I will be using materials in class from the market leader textbooks. These textbooks are used in the ACE program for business English. So the textbooks I use in this class, the SMART English class, are in sequence before those in the ACE program. So in that sense, you will get a real feeling of the type of activities, the structure, the themes, the topics that will be in the ACE course. But you don't have to buy a textbook. I will take those materials and create PDFs, which I will upload to the Google Classroom. So in the Google Classroom, every day, students can access the material for that day's class and, of course, communicate with me. So you don't need a textbook, but we do have resources. Okay. Then if you look at some example topics within this course, so entertaining, you may not think this is business English, but if you are in business, you must sometimes entertain guests, you know, international corporations or people. How does that work? You know, what difficulties or things are there to think about? So entertaining is one, and you can see some other examples of topics we will look at. Then the structure of the course. It will, of course, be in a Zoom classroom. So we will have some time together in the main room where we will do things like I will introduce certain material activities, such as listening, reading, watching, and then we will break into smaller groups, which I will visit, to talk in more detail with other classmates about some of these tasks. Okay, so just to give you an idea, this is like an example class structure. So at the beginning of the class, we may talk about our own experiences related to the topic. Then we will maybe look at some vocabulary. And sometimes this may be vocabulary you already know. Other times it may be new. So we just have some vocabulary. Then we will have, you know, maybe some kind of group activity, again, discussing something, sharing opinions, ideas about a topic related to business. We will have listening activities or watching a video. And again, we will then have some kind of group activity, task, discussion afterwards. And then the final part of the class is a case study, which is a longer activity for students to share their opinions, ideas, think about some of the themes or lessons within the class that day. So for example, in the buying and selling unit, which I believe we will look at on day 2, these are materials from the case study. So there is a situation that we will look at. There is a listening activity to help us think of ideas. And then in groups, students will work together, sharing information, talking about their own ideas. And then those groups will come back to the main room to report to the whole class what they decided. So that is just the, the brief introduction to the Smart Business English course. I hope that was helpful for your understanding, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Rocky Banal, and I'm an assistant professor here at Women's University. And today I'm going to introduce Smart English Through Global Media, or EGM as we call it. And so in this video, I'm going to introduce a little bit about myself, and mostly I'm going to introduce a lot about the English Through Global Media Smart Pre-Freshman course. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is, like, what is it? What is Smart EGM English? Well, it's a pre-freshman course, okay, that you take before your first semester, and it improves your English and critical thinking skills through watching and listening to media, and most importantly, talking, okay? It's an opportunity to talk in English and discuss topics that maybe you haven't been able to talk about before in English, okay? Topics might include, for example, climate change, or new technologies that we are discovering, or new ways to think about your life and how you're proceeding through life. So these kind of topics are what we listen to on audio files and on video files, and those are the kind of topics we use in English Through Global Media. Another thing that this course does is it prepares you for taking the ACE English track course of the same name, English Through Global Media. So you would finish this course during your vacation, and then in your first semester or second semester, whatever is good for your schedule, you would take the ACE EGM course or any other ACE department English courses. It prepares you for all of them. And the main skills that this course focuses on are critical thinking skills, asking questions, analyzing information, discussion skills, explaining the results of your thoughts, of your thinking, and of course, presentation skills, all in English. So why should you take this course? Okay. Good question. Well, first of all, it's very practical and useful. You can learn, for example, maybe how to do a presentation like I'm doing right now. Okay. Or basically a lot of skills that you can use long after Suk Day. Okay. Long after you study at Women's University, you can still use these discussion skills and presentation skills. So it's very practical and useful for English, of course, but also maybe for any discussions or presentations you might make in Korean as well. The big exciting part is you get to meet other students who are also coming to Suk Day for the first time. It's always fun to meet new people. So you'll meet new students and new teachers like me and other professors who are offering other smart smart English class courses. Another reason to take the course is the new and interesting tasks that you will be given. Okay, so for example, you might watch a TED Talk or listen to an audio file about a particular topic, maybe a class or a lecture, and then you and your partner or your group will talk about those things, and the questions will be provided, the vocabulary will be provided, and you get to talk about those things. There's a lot of different activities that we do, and it's fun. It's definitely fun and interesting. and at the same time, it prepares you for university life. Finally, it's fun. It's fun and helpful. You know, we're all online these days, so you know, why not make some new friends, find out some new things, and prepare yourself for next semester and studying English as on interesting topics, not just topics that you know, you might usually be exposed to in other English courses. So yeah, that's English through global media. And again, my name's Rocky. So nice to meet you. I hope to see you guys in the Smart English course. And I really hope you join us and learn something useful, practical, and at the same time, have a lot of fun. Okay, take care and bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Carter, and I'm a professor at 숙명 Women's University. And I am the coordinator for the ACE program, which offers the required English courses that all students must take. I'll be teaching the English for Tourism and Culture course. In this course, we're going to be learning about various aspects of the tourism industry, while also practicing discussion and presentation skills. As you might know, the required English courses for freshmen at 숙명 University are communication-based. And in order to get a good grade, students should be able to discuss various topics, engage in critical thinking and analysis, and give presentations too. So this class will be very helpful for you to give you a boost in learning these skills so that when you join your English class in the spring semester, you'll be familiar with these skills and confident about your ability to communicate in English in both discussions and presentations. So if you want to get a good grade in those courses, this is a great class for you. The focus of this class is tourism and culture. So we're going to be exploring various aspects of the tourism industry while learning about different countries and cultures. We will also spend some time thinking about how these ideas can be applied to the Korean tourism industry, which is a really fast-growing sector right now. As more and more tourists get to know about Korea and come to visit, there will be multiple opportunities for employment and participation in the Korean tourism industry. So let's look at the schedule for this course. As you can see, over the 10 days we have together, we will cover 5 aspects: package tours, hotels, food and beverage, nature tourism, and marketing. Each theme will be covered over 2 days. And this will allow us to get really into these subjects in depth, in detail, and explore them fully while practicing our communication skills. And that brings me to the second part of the content, the discussion and presentation skills. Each day, we'll also focus on improving one more part of each. The discussion skills will cover organizing a discussion to make it more professional and advanced, giving opinions, agreeing and disagreeing with your discussion partners, asking for clarification and confirmation of what somebody has said, and interrupting politely. And all of these together will enable you to successfully participate in discussions in English. Moving on to the presentation skills, we will practice organizing, a very important part of a successful presentation, having an interesting introduction and a memorable conclusion to the presentation, using the power of your voice, visual aids such as a PPT, and finally, building a rapport, a relationship with your audience, and making an impact on them. There's a lot to think about when giving a presentation, but don't worry, we'll practice together and hopefully you will improve very quickly. Next, I'm going to show you an example of a 2-day lesson plan that will be used for the first 2 days of this course. And hopefully it will give you a better idea of what you will be doing in this class. So the first day is about exploring the theme and building the vocabulary and skills necessary to complete the task on the second day. Our first theme is package tours. So in the first hour, we will talk a little more generally about our personal experiences, and we will learn some tourism-specific vocabulary that can be used to discuss package tours. We're also going to do a little bit of listening to hear people talking about their own package tour experiences. And then we will cover the first discussion skill of organizing, along with useful phrases and language for organizing a discussion, logically and clearly. We'll put these skills and ideas into practice with a discussion that links back to the listening activity we did before, and another discussion on city tours. So we're now starting to think more specifically about tours. Finally, on the first day, we will look at an example of a Barcelona city tour in beautiful Spain. And we'll look at important factors to consider when creating a package tour. On the second day, we'll focus on presentation skills by starting with how to organize a presentation well. Then we will learn about city tours in Austria, and you will have a chance to organize your own city tour in Austria, working together in teams in English to achieve your goal. This is a really great way to develop your communication skills, as you can use the language naturally as you work together on this project. To finish the second day, you will present your package tours to the rest of the class, enabling you to put your presentation skill that you learned into practice. We will then have a question and answer session where you can share your experiences and ask questions to others or to me. And we can finally review what we learned over those 2 days, and we'll feel proud of what we've achieved. And so that 2-day lesson plan will be repeated over the next 8 days with different content, different skills, and different subjects. So we have a lot to cover over 10 days. You're going to be learning a lot, but it will be so useful for your English communication skills. And such a valuable experience as this is going to give you the best chance at getting top grades in English class when you do take your required English classes in next semester. Okay, so that's it from me. Hopefully I've given you a good idea of what this class is going to be about, and hopefully I'll see some of you soon. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.